Black Ops 3 Zombies is my all-time favorite entry in the entire COD Zombies mode. It's also one of my favorite Call of Duty games across the board. In my opinion, it's the perfect blend of great map design, high community engagement, interesting and engaging Easter eggs, and a gripping storyline with replayability and so much more. I've talked ad nauseum about how much I love this game, and why I think it's the best entry in the entire series. I've gone on record multiple times now, across multiple videos, saying great things about Black Ops 3. It's probably overkill at this point to keep repeating that same point. I'm beating a dead horse now. I've made my case. I've stated my opinion, and you've all heard it. But there's something I want to acknowledge. Every great game has flaws, and I'm not going to act oblivious to the obvious issues that Black Ops 3 has. There are so many things that I think make it a great game, and there are a lot of completely valid criticisms that the community has of this game that I entirely agree with. Things that both make the game great for some and make it a terrible experience for others. So in this video, I'm going to dive into what makes Black Ops 3 not so great. And I want to focus on the biggest issues of Black Ops 3, in both my own opinion as well as the broader opinion of the non-zero number of Black Ops 3 Zombies haters that there are in the world. A group of people very loud but also pretty correct in their assessment of the game. So let's start with a glaring problem with Black Ops 3 Zombies, and what I think is one of its biggest critiques. It's too easy. Black Ops 3 is an immensely easy entry in the series, in that casual players have so many crutches to lean on in a ton of different ways. It's the first game in the series to raise the health cap, lower the zombies cap, and make the playing field gap increasingly wider between the upper and lower difficulties. Every map is high roundable, every map is fairly wide open, features broad sweeping training areas, and features overpowered wonder weapons in one way or another. It's immensely easy to take advantage of the newly introduced 3-hit down system, coupled with perks like Jug and Widow's Wine that can nearly make a player invincible. Along with that, Black Ops 3 also introduced the Gobble Gun system. That now means that you can effectively pay to win in zombies. You can spawn in, immediately pack a punch your guns, be granted every single perk in the game, open every door for free, spawn in max ammos and insta-kills whenever you please, give yourself infinite ammo, essentially unlock unlimited revives, and so much more. And yes, you can earn these gobblegums through playing the game, so it by all technicality doesn't create an inherent need to spend more money in the game to gain an advantage, but ultimately, any system that can be monetized immediately creates an unfair advantage for those that want to pay their way into being better at the game, rather than needing to earn or build that skill. So there's now the unfair, unbalanced dynamic that Black Ops 3 removes the purity behind the survival skill-based mode, and makes it a cheapened, easier, pay-to-win system. On top of that, every single weapon became viable in Black Ops 3 due to the ability to multi-pack-a-punch your weapons and unlock alternate ammo types. And that can be a good thing. It adds more variability to the weapons that make sense to use in the game. You're not limited to just the best of the best or going for a wonder weapon. You truly can use any gun in the game, whatever suits your playstyle. However, that essentially means that every single weapon in the game can now become a one-hit kill gun later into high rounds by virtue of making random shots per magazine activate special abilities. For instance, special abilities that can do things like blast fire through a crowd of zombies, killing them all with no damage cap, or electrify zombies as if every bullet weapon were now a wonder waff, or do something like turning zombies into friendlies by using turn, or making your gun into a mini thunder gun with a blast of air through zombies, knocking them down and killing them. So let's recap. You have more health, zombies do less damage, every single gun is overpowered, and you can unlock every single benefit, perk, door, everything right at the start of the game. Treyarch, and probably more accurately Activision, have made the game more casual and beginner friendly by dumbing the actual core mechanics of the game down and not adding any inherent difficulty or challenge to the mode. And from that, I want to lead into the second big criticism of Black Ops 3. It's also too complex. Now, you're probably thinking, how can a game you just called way too easy also be way too complicated? And hear me out, this isn't about the inherent difficulty of playing zombies as a zombie survival mode. This is about the broader difficulty of enjoying the mode in its entirety through its Easter eggs. Black Ops 3 continues our Ether storyline from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 by making the entire game focused around main quests and Easter eggs. In that, everything has now become a secret hidden unlock quest. Tons of buildable items and weapons per map, mini-boss and grander game-ending boss fights, lore dumps, upgrade quests, and more, all put behind Easter egg quests. And by all technicality, these are not core gameplay functions of the mode. You can choose to ignore these, but in doing so, you're limiting how much of the mode you actually get to enjoy and the parts of the map that you actually get to take advantage of. So in doing this, Treyarch have effectively put any bonus additional content and additional gameplay features locked behind Easter egg quests in the mode. Just enough for you to still be able to enjoy the map without them, but not get the full experience as intended without doing these quests. And that's fine and dandy if you do it in a simple way, meaning every player has the same entry-level understanding understanding of the game and can participate in the same way on an equal playing field. However, Black Ops 3 doesn't do that. It's almost as though Jason Blundell, the creative director for Black Ops 3 Zombies, took it as a challenge to make the game as complex, as complicated, and as difficult as possible to both initially find as well as repeat the steps of every map's main quests and even some of their smaller hidden Easter eggs, made increasingly apparent by the fact that he still brags in interviews to this day, 10 years later, that people have not found Easter eggs he put into the game, effectively confirming the point of these Easter eggs was to make them impossible to do and difficult to find, not to put hidden nuggets in the game for the community to find in the first place. He went above and beyond in making some maps so difficult to complete that they took the community weeks on end to even discover and finish in the first place. The biggest example of that, the infamous Bone Step in the game's final grand finale map, Revelations, a map so bogged down by overly complex, nonsensical Easter egg steps that it's less known for completing, or so we thought it was until the story essentially got retconned and re-finaled at the end of Black Ops 4, our main storyline, and more known for being the map with the Easter egg steps so ridiculous and hard to find that they almost seem like a bunch of random, disconnected, meaningless challenges strung together into an Easter egg than they do an actual coherent telling of the story through prop discovery and searching. So what exactly is the Bone Step? Well, historically, Easter eggs and their associated main quests in Zombies maps up until Revelations took maybe 1, maybe 2 days to fully discover and solve by the community, even by the most intense and dedicated Easter egg hunters in the space. Revelations, on the other hand, took over a week, a time period that still holds the crown to this day for the longest Easter egg hunt in Zombies history, something we almost felt another glimpse of being beaten with Kawakujo in Black Ops 7, until the steps were data mined and leaked to the community, ending an eerily similar stuck step in the hunt the community just couldn't get past. And the reason Revelations took so long to complete was because of multiple extremely niche, very well hidden steps that nobody was even looking for because the items needed to be found seemingly had nothing to do with the quest we were following up until this point. The biggest example, the Bone Step, a bunch of hidden parts of a skeleton either floating around the map so far off into overly trippy textures or hidden in such dark and tucked away areas that they were nearly impossible to spot and find. Or they were so out of the way the community didn't even think these items were interactable, relevant parts of the game in any way, shape, or form. And now I'm not saying you have to put some big shiny yellow box around an item and say, hey, this is something you can interact with, press F here, press square here. You don't have to do that. You don't have to treat the player like they're dumb. But more often than not, the theme in Black Ops 3 was to completely subvert that expectation. Do the complete opposite. Make objects so difficult to identify that the player has no idea what they're even looking for in the first place. Black Ops 2 made items very easily identifiable. You could tell what you needed to walk up to. It had an interact point, or it was an easily identifiable piece of lore, an item that we were familiar with, just didn't know what it looked like, but we knew how we were looking for it or where we might find it. And by all effect, that achieves Treyarch's intended goal. Prolong the Easter egg hunt, keep the community engaged for longer. But it was done in such a way that it felt like bad game design. All they did to make the Easter eggs harder was create artificial difficulty. They didn't hide difficult to find items behind a hard to fight enemy. They hid main Easter egg items by intentionally obscuring them in a way where they didn't want them to be found. But again, that about sums up the Easter egg hunts in Black Ops 3 as a whole. We went from otherwise innocent, predictable Easter eggs like the ones we saw in Black Ops 1 and 2, where you interact with some radios, go to some spots and shoot some things that had real lore ties to them, interact with more radios, build stuff on a workbench, etc., etc. All steps that made sense, to the kinds of Easter eggs we saw in Black Ops 3 being more endless scavenger hunts that had more to do with finding increasingly difficult hidden objects around the map, interacting with tiny hitboxes that needed immensely fine precision to accurately activate, or completing difficult boss fights with unpredictable mechanics that could one-shot an entire team and end the whole hunt extremely unforgivingly. And on top of that, a fair side point that's been made many times over. The plot started to go way off the walls. Treyarch essentially jumped the shark with Black Ops 3. We went from gritty, dark horror in World at War, hinting at a plotline of Nazi science experiments gone wrong, the US military hunting down those involved, and every ally and enemy in World War II racing to find new alien technology, a somewhat grounded in reality but still silly plotline, that ended up turning into aliens, space monsters, floating druids, a weird British magician that's actually our zombie overlord, magical bow and arrows that can spawn ghosts and demons. You get the idea. Or to a lot of people, what felt like a complete lack of a coherent idea, where Treyarch ultimately just threw a bunch of spaghetti at a wall and went too far. So that's two main issues of Black Ops 3 thus far. It's both too easy and catered to the casual player, or alternatively the player willing to spend the most money to gain an upper hand, while also being so immensely difficult, complicated, and overly complex that its Easter eggs, meant to give the dedicated community something to search for and satisfying ways to discover new lore about the game, instead becoming a tedious and annoying scavenger hunt rather than fun ways to interact with the game and its story. A storyline that has alienated, no pun intended, the casual community because it makes absolutely no sense to someone who tries to reconnect with the series after playing the simple survival wave-based zombies mode, they remembered being that thing that was attached to the old COD game they played that one time. Which leaves one main final complaint that folks have with Black Ops 3. It's overhyped. There's something very true about the broader community being turned off by content oversaturation. There have been a million videos about why Black Ops 3 is the best zombies game, mine included. There have been a million posts about looking back at Black Ops 3, picking your favorite map, people ranking every map from the game in the S tier of their COD Zombies tier lists, and every single successive game after Black Ops 3 always being compared back to it. At a certain point, you almost get sick of hearing about the game. We get it. It's good. You like it. I like it. We all like it. But do we have to talk about it all the time? Are we allowed to like other entries in the franchise? Can we say that Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 4 or maybe even Black Ops 7 are the best? Or is Black Ops 3 the only game worthy of that title? And if you, the person watching this video right now, are that person that holds that opinion, I fully hear you and I totally get it. I am one of those people that will say a million times over that Black Ops 3 is in fact the best game in the series. I truly do think it's the best entry in the mode. I think it's the best work that Treyarch has done. But I'm also the perfect intersection of the target audience Treyarch was going for. Someone who likes a challenging Easter egg, someone who likes the replayability of the difficulty, but also likes that it's a mindless, replayable, high-rounding game. One that doesn't take much skill to get into and can be picked up 10 years later like you're riding a bike. You can't forget how to play it. It's immensely easy. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, it's very forgiving, and if you want a challenge, you can try out some of the harder things it has to offer. You can choose to go back and do one of those Easter eggs that has 400 individual steps you have to memorize. Or you can not. But I get why people might find that off-putting. When it's the only game you ever hear about at the top of every Zombies YouTuber's favorite games, you see every single post online about how great of a game it is, and your friends all say it's the greatest of all time, you might be more inclined to take a contrarian approach to it. And you might say, you know what, maybe it's not the best. Maybe I'm sick of hearing about this game. Maybe it does have problems and everyone's just blind to those issues because they like the vibes of the game they felt when it came out in 2015. Now, we all have our own opinions on the best game. We all have our own take on what makes a game good to us. Black Ops 3 is my personal favorite, but I fully agree with all of the takes that say what's wrong with it. But what's your opinion? Do you think the criticisms of Black Ops 3 are valid? Do you agree that it jumped the shark and brought the zombie storyline into too wacky, too far off the wall plot lines? Or did you absolutely love what became of the mode like I did? Drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And if you like this style of commentary in the videos that I make, it'd be awesome if you left a like and a comment and let me know that. That's all I've got for now, and I'll see you in the next one.